that we hit today. So remember yesterday, I don't know if you saw my video, most of you probably haven't, but I put this line here because it was where the price low was for the day. But this yellow line that you see, this dotted line, this is actually the gap that filled today. And this gap was created, let's go back and see. This gap was created on March 5th, 2021. So the fact is, now hold on, let me look at the daily, because if this is below 30 on the RSI for the daily, that's good news, because let's see where we're at. It's probably right there. We're 3308. So why this is significant? Whenever, and this is what our core strategy involves, is gap fills as support. So whenever these gaps like this get filled, that's usually the target. So that being said, that gap should signify the bottom, which was around that 507, 508 mark. And I don't see much more downside coming after this. Now, I could be wrong, of course, but utilizing these gaps has always worked for support. Now, the issue is there's 4 more gaps that exist, okay? I'm going to mark them all right here. And a gap is simply a void in price action. And if you look at what is left, we have the last gap that needs to be filled is right here, I believe. It's hard to tell. Okay, $1.17. Now, will these fill? That is the question. Well, I'm not sure. But the good news is that we just had one fill, the closest one. We had positive earnings, beat EPS and revenue. So I don't see any reason for this to continue going down further, at least not right now. So we may see a pop cycle up back to 9 to close up this gap here. And we may retrace lower after that to close up those final gaps. And then by the time that's all said and done, it's likely going to be 2023. And then we're in business, because that's the year that, I expect AMC and GME to come to fruition. So I just want to point that out, that today there was a critical level filled for a gaps perspective, and it was around that 505, 504 mark, and the gap was created in March of 2021. So just pointing all that out. But yeah, that's basically all I have for you. The next upside gap is right here. And if you look at the RSI, and you use this gap that just filled and against this gap here, it almost looks exactly like the RSI. Like if we were to run up to this point, that would put us oversold or just near it on the daily. So that's just my thought process on it. But do I know for sure if this is going to run soon or later? No one ever does. But based on technicals, based on the fact that we have the FTD settlements coming up throughout this week and next week, we have a short settlement window due. I would imagine that we should see some form of a pop. So just hang in there, and those gaps are very, very telling for support levels.